here in our live trading service, and this is fantastic. All right, let's cover some administrative items. Lifetime memberships went up at the closing bell on Friday to 17.5. They started years ago at 10, they're up to 17.5, and they'll probably go up to 20 here pretty shortly based on how our performance is doing. So if you want to lock in your lifetime membership, it's 17.5. You get access to everything we do going forward. And, you know, talking about the afterburner trading thing, which I'll talk about in a second. Remember, if you're a lifetime member, coaching's completely separate. The afterburner trading thing is essentially live coaching. I've been living on this thing for about 4 to 5 days with the afterburner traders. That's coaching. Okay, so it is a separate service. I don't hear anybody complain again who's a lifetime member about this. I'm probably going to raise this afterburner trading thing to about 20 grand because I'm starting to limit people. And if you want in, you're going to pay up for it. Okay, yeah, Brady, you'll get there. So, let me close this. If you want the lifetime members, contact support. New members, we got to talk. Clearly, people don't watch the getting started video. I've already told support delete every email that asks stupid questions like where's this, how do I do that, or access this. It means you didn't watch the getting started video like you're supposed to. So we're not going to waste time on people that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Tomorrow we'll do our primary live trade brief at 10 a.m. and we're going to do our full throttle training, actually bullish spreads tomorrow night at 7. So that's kind of the immediate stuff on the radar as far as what's going on here. Let me just review, since it is kind of a popular topic here. The afterburner trading thing's just been fantastic. It's been me. I mean, yesterday I was trying to enjoy myself at the beach, social distancing from all the old people coughing and hacking up in God's waiting room down here. I guess I can't call it God's waiting room in Boca. That's probably not too funny anymore, with about 10 cases here in Boca Raton. But the afterburner trading thing's been epic, and a lot of everybody on that thread's like, thank God you're doing this. And it's a great group, good group of solid people in there. If you want access, I am going to, let me see how many people we got in here, but it's select group. There's 8, no, that's wrong. I think we're at 20. And I think I'm going to limit. I don't know if it's going to be 25 or 30, but these folks, we're interacting. This is actually, so here's what's interesting. It being about 10 grand is ridiculously stupid cheap. When you think about it, the Commanding Officers Club coaching is 15 grand a year, right? And we talk maybe a couple times throughout the week and maybe once on a WebEx. This thing I've been on this nonstop every day. And I need to throttle back a little bit so I don't wear myself out. So it's actually cheaper than the coaching. That's why we're going to raise the price. Exactly, Seth. It is priceless. So that's why the price is going up. Okay. I literally just got a call from a guy I haven't heard from in years asking about a trade that he did wrong this morning. Do not, and now the phone number's blocked. Do not call me. Do not email me, or do not messenger me, folks. That was insane. Do not call me, folks. I can't. Legally, I can't take your calls, and I think it's just rude, to be honest with you. Get in the ready room. I can answer you publicly in there. I can answer people publicly on the Afterburn thread. I'm not giving you individual investment advice. I'm not going to do anything wrong. That's why we've been in business for 10 years. Do not call my cell phone and ask me what to do with the trade. That's it. So, Mike, if you can give Susie a heads up, that'd be great. So, reaching out to me on social media, I'll keep it like this because I know Susie's dealing with a bunch of people who want to get into this. The price is going to go up. I'm going to make it the same as coaching. So this is going to go up to 15 grand. It's only for 6 months, by the way. This ends September 30th. What happens on September 30th? Hopefully this shit's all over with and we can go back to normal operations of just regular trade briefs and normal text and stuff like that. But I specifically came up with this outside of Top Gun options to meet a need because I was getting hit by 1,000 people. People from second grade I haven't heard from in years like, hey, Edward, great to hear from you. What do I do with my 401k? What? Click. Yeah, exactly, Ryan. All right, so that's probably going to go up. I'll let you lock it in today for that. It's going up to 15 grand. Let's call it at midnight tonight, because I want to limit this. So that's going to be that. So you save what? Save 5 grand right now if you get into it. That's a pretty freaking good deal. Here's who's in it right now. We have a great group of folks. Anybody know? Does this name sound familiar to anybody? Anybody know who AJ Buckley is? He's the star of CBS SEAL Team. Are we relations? No, brother from a different mother. He's just got a great last name. Great American. So AJ Buckley, who's on CBS SEAL Team, is in there. Do me a favor, if you join us, do not get in there and start, autographs and all that type of bullshit. He's a great dude, great friend of the great American, great friend of mine. He's in there. We got doctors. We got all sorts of people. So this is the current list of folks that are in there, just to show you that men lie, numbers don't. These are all people that you know. These are all your fellow members. So if you want to get in there, this is getting. It's okay now. It might start moving to toner. Remember last week I said it's going to be toner, and then I said it isn't. Toner meaning I was just going to blast shit out throughout the day. I talked to a buddy yesterday on the beach who knows heavy in the New York Police Department. He's like, we're hearing the sanitation workers are going to stop coming into work because they don't want to get infected. Could you imagine New York City with bags of trash, the amount of trash that would be stacked up in a week? You want to talk about a pandemic and the bubonic plague? It's with that. So I've been blasting shit out. We beat the news by a day and a half on that thread that Andrew Cuomo was calling out the National Guard. So this thing's been just fantastic. So Doug, Afterburner Trading is if you guys are new, real quick brief. This thing is there's my kids in their Christmas outfits. This thing is literally my key to the world. Hedge fund managers, multi-billion dollar hedge fund managers, people in the Pentagon, people in government, Wall Street business, you name it. This is my link. People in Brazil, this is my link. And this is where I get a lot of trade ideas and breaking news and information that I use to trade on. These people, we are on a group me, so we're live chatting back and forth. I think I was up at 5 this morning, guys. Watched the sunrise. I've been on this thing since 5 a.m. talking to these people about what we're doing throughout the day. So that's why it's going to go up to 15 grand. We'll call it midnight tonight. I'm going to charge the same amount as I do for coaching. I mean, it's just insanely cheap. So. Bob, let me say this for the 9,000th time. This is not part of a lifetime membership. Okay, this is live coaching, and it's better than coaching. So coaching has never been included with lifetime membership. It is not part of lifetime membership. Period. So I got any consideration for the little guy, small account, just starting in trading? Kevin, give me a call when you're a big guy. Folks, this is, my God, man, the amount of discounts and shit that I've been trying to finagle with people. The price is the price, guys. I am helping the little guy. Everything that I do is to help you guys, whether you're a freaking billionaire or a small trader, man. Everything I'm doing is to help. Please stop. The price is the price, man. That's it. Christ. I'm trying to enjoy yesterday with my family. When's the Sunday market brief coming out? I'm like, okay, don't feed the animals. Let's go. So here's the deal. Let me give you let's get tactical. And let me tell you what's going on today from everything that I know. And this is as of I just got post forwarded from American Airlines and all sorts of shit. I've never seen anything like this in my life. So today, what I think is going to so the president, you guys know what I did, and the short squeeze Friday, his bullshit press conference. We were on Afterburner Trading thread, and I'm like, oh my God, he's starting this. It's supposed to start at 3. It started at 3:30. 3:34. Trump walked out 34 minutes late. Why? Because he knew the market, and he bullshit short squeeze. And then if you guys saw him taking questions after, he stopped talking. It was awful. He was him awfulness. The next day, so the market rallied into the close, and you saw all the idiots out there on your social media or even some on TV that said, look, the market's rallying. I'm like, you really are an idiot. You don't know what a short squeeze is. Saturday morning, the president tweeted out, biggest, all in capitals, biggest one-day stock rise in history. Did everybody see that? I about fell out of my car, man. And it was a disgrace. I said, here's my response to the president. Laugh my ass off, man. My God. 3 weeks ago, you said buy stocks when you were in India during the first little market hiccup, and the S&P went down. Now, as of today, went down like 1,500 points. Yesterday, so you know what the president of the United States of America did with this tweet yesterday? But so not even 24 hours after his cheerleading press conference caused a short squeeze, the next morning, Mike Pence is on stage going, we're shutting down England, we're shutting down Ireland, we're shutting down Great Britain, we're shutting down the country to foreigners. Cruise line industries have been ordered by this government to shut. I mean, I'm like, so you guys were either lying to us at the close Friday and didn't want to tell us all this stuff. You saved it for Saturday when the market was closed. That's exactly what they did, and it's a disgrace. The president deleted this tweet. That will forever be his George Bush mission accomplished moment. Nobody works harder at this than you, Wiz. My other services are totally radio silent. Holy shit, man. Thank you for that, Doug. That makes me feel a lot better. So here's what's going on. At 3:30 today, so they actually announced a press conference today at 3:30. So actually, they're telling you it's going to be a half an hour into the close. So here's how this press conference is going to go. The first 30 minutes are going to be Donald Trump bailing out the $50 billion to the airlines, this to the crew. Of course, you can't use the word bailout. If he uses the word bailout, I'm going to go get my pitchfork and torch and march on Washington. It should be zero loans, all sorts of crap like that. You bail out at the shitty airline. Why are you bailing out the cruise ship industry? Who cares? Cruise ships are a disgusting petri dish normally, let alone with a pandemic. I could care less about the cruise industry. I'm almost not caring about the airline industry, to be honest with you. Hate to sound callous. I lost my job on 9/11. I got furloughed. I lived. I strived. I survived. They didn't. American Airlines, when they got bailed out last time, didn't use money to call me back. I had 5 jobs at one point, trading my ass off, and Susie was waiting tables at an Italian restaurant. So here's what's going to happen. He's going to have 30 minutes. Watch this. He's going to have a 30-minute cheerleading session, and when the closing bell sounds, he's going to turn around and invoke the second or a couple other parts of the Stafford Act. He did it on Friday. Everybody's like, he already announced that, Wiz. I'm like, you're an idiot. He only announced these parts of the Stafford Act. The states, municipalities can enact this and disaster funding and everything like that. This part of the Stafford Act says, I am ordering federal employees not to come to work for 2 weeks. He's going to shut the government down. How do airliners fly without air traffic controllers? How do ports operate without, inspectors? So he can order government employees. He can't order, folks, Wiz, you're wrong. He can't order a quarantine of America for 2 weeks. He can't. What do you think? I'm stupid? He can if he declares martial law. He won't do that. He's not declaring martial law. He's going to say, I'm shutting all this stuff down, which essentially shuts down America, so you need to probably shut down. Does everybody understand that? Give me a vertical head nod. So this is going to be an interesting way to play this. Hold what you got. Because how is that good news, folks? People are like, Wiz, the markets are off the lows. I'm like, they're 700 points off the lows. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Yay. So announcing that essentially commerce in this country stops is bullish. But you could maybe. I bought some Carnival Cruise Lines. I put that on the thread. I said, hey, and Delta Airlines. I said, hey, man, these might be some one-day potential trades. But let me say one thing here, and I didn't address John's. I almost blew out my account on Friday because it's shocking to me to hear something like that. If you're almost blowing out your portfolio on one trade, that's insanity. First, to anybody who's new and you're learning about options, do not trade real capital until you know what you're doing. Open a freaking paper trading account, get in the simulator, and learn. If you blow out 70% of your account on one trade, you deserve everything bad that happens to you. Come on, folks. Let's use our brains. The full throttle training is here for a reason. Get in here, everybody new, and start watching your full throttle training. Jan made $2,000 in 5 minutes on the Delta trade this morning. Good, awesome. So member content, full throttle. Get in here and watch the options training videos. And as I briefed you, and I'll brief the new folks right now, if you ask me a question in the chat box, it's like, hey, how does that work? And it's in the training video, I'm going to ignore it. Or if I'm being nice, I'm going to say, go watch the training videos. Okay, here we go. So that's what I believe is going to happen today. That's all wrapped up from me being up since 5 a.m. He's going to invoke the second half of the Stafford Act. I believe that Congress is, so let me get this straight. The governor of Virginia, the racist KKK wearing governor that Democrats apparently, could you imagine if a Republican governor did that? Whatever. He came out yesterday and said, in the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, we are banning meetings over 100 people. And the CDC came out last night and said, we recommend for the next 8 weeks, do not be in a group of 50 people. Last time I checked, the United States Senate had 100 people and the House is 435, whatever, people. How can the government of the United States order us to do all this stuff and not do it? They have to shut down the Capitol. This ain't a movie, man. This isn't like 24 or something like that with Kiefer Sutherland. This is going to happen, folks. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Because there's a bunch of staffers that are like that. Paul Wiz made $7,500 Friday and $5,800 today. Nice job, man. So here's the deal. Yeah, exactly. Politicians don't work, so they should be okay. So here's the deal. You can try and play this day trade, but this isn't for the faint of heart. Okay, like. I saw some of these folks on it was Fox Business or wherever it was, CNBC today. Like, well, the fact that he's doing this during market hours is good. It's going to be good news. So so now everybody knows the game the president is playing. So I don't even know if we get a pump a pump into the close. See you guys. So I don't even know that. Maybe the market's wise to his stupid shenanigans that he did on Friday. I don't know, guys. So, and usually you guys know when I say I don't know, and I usually put a big, nice little yellow question mark over here to the right. If you don't know, don't go. Don't do anything. Sit there with your popcorn and eat. Dr. Scott Gottlieb, again, was on a bunch of shows today. Brilliant guy. Him and Dr. Fauci are the only two people I'm listening to. Not Pence, not Trump, not anybody. Fauci and Gottlieb. Last Sunday in Fairhope, Alabama, flying the L-39, when he was on Face the Nation, he said the next 2 weeks will change the complexion of this country. Bullseye. We've been a week and we got another week of changing the complexion. Last week it was NBA, NHL. Who cares about the NBA? NHL. Who cares about Major League Baseball? Apple shutting down. Nike shutting down. Boom, boom. CDC, 50 people. This week is going to be airlines are grounded. Federal government is closed and stay at home for 2 weeks. I saw who was it? I think it's up here somewhere. Somebody, the rule of thumb right now from the CDC essentially is assume everybody is infected. That's what they want you to do. Your mindset has to be everybody's infected. They don't want you to go out of your house for 2 weeks, folks. Somebody tell me the bullish case around that. So 2 weeks will change the complexion of this country. 2 months will be out of this. Oh my God, Wiz, give me something good. There's the good. The good is for the people showing up right now who are new members, and we're closed. Full Throttle Max is closed. I shut that thing last night. One of the guys that bitched, you can go look at his name on YouTube. My techies finally took the page down and the trials. People have been sneaking in with these $38 trials. If you're a trial member, do me a favor and don't even ask a question. $38 for a week. That was stupid. That was my fault. all the trials should have been taken down, and the full throttle max. 1:42 in the morning, an hour and 42 minutes after I said, we're supposed to be closed. The dude's like, just signed up, got a receipt, and didn't even get any trades for the morning. This place sucks. I answered him on, I'm like, do me a favor and call support tomorrow and go away. I don't want you as a member. What an idiot. What a jackass. That's who I'm dealing with, folks. Dennis, don't be in options positions if the market closes. We're going to get to that. Let me finish the brief, guys. So, tactically, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I believe is going to happen. This was another panic selling day. Remember, for the past month-ish, I'm like, this ain't panic. Oh my God, that looks awful. That's not panic. This was nibbling on panic, and today's a bigger-ish panic. The market is essentially in a holding pattern right now, waiting for gifts from God, the government gods. That's not giving airlines zero interest loans or 50 billion this or whatever. It does nothing. I have a Delta buddy who flew his 330 or whatever it is to pit. They're parking airplanes, folks. They're having guys fly empty airplanes, put them on a runway somewhere, and fly deadhead home. They're going to, so American Airlines sent out what? Schlong sent me from American Airlines. Early retirements being offered, this and that, and voluntary furloughs. And that's the first step before airlines get rid of thousands of pilots is, hey, if you're close to retirement, we'll give you half your retirement pay, this. And that. It's like, they have, it's like this flow chart in the airlines. That's the first step to, if this isn't well received by our pilots, there's 2,000 of you gone from the bottom of this list. That is not, that's bad. Delta has 900 planes and 300 grounded so far. So yeah, this is bad. So this is why earlier I sent out a text alert. I said I'm bipolar right now in Delta Airlines. I bought some calls, which are printing money right now, but I'm keeping the puts on. Why? Because I think Delta Airlines pops on the news of yay Uncle Sammy stepping in, and then implodes in a couple days on the holy shit, there's thousands of guys on the street. My phone is blowing up from guys like, dude, I'm going to get furloughed. How do I do you? You got furloughed from Americans, traded full time, and now you're here. I'm like, well, that should be proof that a knuckle dragging idiot from New Jersey can do this. You can too. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. I'm making money on both. I'm making money on the puts and the calls. So you can be bipolar here. So, Don, I'm a Delta retiree, planes parked all around hangars in MSP. Oh my God, man. Whew. Ken, made $5,000 on my company, Delta Airlines. Today will pay for VIP email support after the brief. Good for you, man. Ken, I'm going to answer that, folks. Let me finish the brief. Here's what's going to happen all right, since everybody wants to know. First of all, do not stay in any options contract if you think the market's going to close. As I drove to the beach today, maybe for the last time for 2 weeks, the SEC director was interviewed on CNBC. Markets will remain open. Secretary Mnuchin yesterday on I would never watch CBS, on Fox News with what's his face. Markets will stay open. God bless Steve Mnuchin. Markets have to be able to operate efficiently, meaning, I guarantee you Trump's telling them to shut shit down. Okay. I have a ton of texts and stuff out to feelers like, well, if Trump does the Stafford Act, federal employees can't work except for non-essential. Are SEC employees, CFTC employees essential? You kind of need those folks if markets are open, right? They're the law. I'm waiting for an answer. Mnuchin saying markets will stay open. The SEC director saying markets will stay open. I believe yo soy whiz, markets will stay open if we're having these type of days. And I can't even believe that I'm okay with like down 2,000. I know we minted a couple new millionaires at the open today. Okay. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so here's the deal, folks. Here's the step thing. Yeah, they can work remotely. So like the New York Stock Exchange floor and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like regulators, folks, like the people that didn't catch Bernie Madoff and stuff like that. So here's what we need to do. What happens to options in case markets get closed at time of expiration? Did you not hear me start this speech? Folks, do not be in an options position if you think the market's going to close. We have never been in this situation before where the markets might be potentially closed for an extended period of time. In the old days, if you're in an options trade and that stock or ETF was halted for news or something like that, the options froze. But if the thing expired during the free, folks, this is a contract. Do you not understand what an options contract is? It's like a house contract. It's like a car contract. When the day comes and the price, whatever, it's frozen there, right? Sellers have responsibilities. Buyers have rights. Some of you clearly haven't watched session 2 of options full throttle training. So here's the answer. You don't want to be in that situation. I'm going to do my best. I'm doing a fantastic job right now with my buddies who would know something like that before Mnuchin would come out and say it, and the market too, not just my buddies. A lot of people, a lot of folks in hedge funds know a lot of people in treasury and everything like that. And if they would even consider closing the markets, you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it last, or you're going to hear about it first if you're an afterburner trader as the market implodes, which is going to be great because it'll help all our bearish positions. But they would not, unless the Dow's down 10,000 points, they're not going to come out and say, ding, 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 the market's officially closed. They can't. I mean, they could, but they won't. That's a martial law situation. Okay? Does everybody understand that? So you should, well, Paul, yeah, guys. If you, Paul's asking about like some Jan 22 leaps and stuff like that. Those will be fine. Farther out's fine, folks. I'm talking about if they close the markets for 2 weeks, like, hey, it's official, we're closing these for 2 weeks, then, I wouldn't be in those. If you're in, some leaps out to whatever, if you're nibbling right now, Wiz, I'm buying some Apple or Amazon leaps right now. I wouldn't blame you. I'm getting ish. I think we got another 5 to 10% down to go. I'm kind of feeling the little nibble myself. I'm not going to. We still haven't had washout panic selling. I'll say it again. This afternoon, I could be completely wrong with all of this. The president's going to be good cop, bad cop. He's going to be good cop as the market's open like he did Friday, and then he's going to be bad cop with we're shutting down and you should too. That's just not bullish. Mnuchin, his career would be over with. Not that he cares. He's a billionaire. He and the SEC would lose all credibility if they closed the markets. They didn't close the markets. The Kospi in Korea, the Nikkei, the only market that was really closed was China, but it was their Lunar New Year anyway. They had it, what was it, a week they were closed? Their market was closed anyway, so they kind of lucked out. So I personally do not believe the markets are going to close. I just don't believe it, okay? That's me. The best part about being an options trader, folks, is this. Wiz, I think you're full of shit and smoking crack today. Well, I did have some for breakfast, but then you take the other side of the trade or do the exact opposite of what I'm talking about. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So let me, this is, yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, was the and the VIX was broken this morning. This whole morning, folks, and after the circuit breakers reopened, everybody on the afterburner thread, it took like 15 minutes to get the pricing right, man. U.S. Airlines in talk, 50 billion in government aid. Government aid. Mnuchin, Trump, Pence, everybody is avoiding the B word. You know what the B word is? Bailout. You know why people since 2008 hate Wall Street executives? Because we bailed them out. I'm a waitress. I lost my job. I had to short sell my house, and Wall Street got bailed out. Who bailed me out? So that's why Mnuchin's using this language like, hey, we're in the second inning of this. First, we're bailing out these people, then them, then them, then them. I would have done the exact opposite. I would have bailed out mom and pop first. I got mine and then bailed out other, the industries. They're doing it wrong. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a danger of this. There are 4 potential. I'm adding a black swan today. You ready for this, guys? Black swan. Iran. Iran is again, buddy in a uniform. He's like, tens of thousands of people we think are dead in Iran. It's raging through Iran. They can't. They're letting it go. What do you do if you're Iran? The great Satan came up with this to kill all of us. Let's attack them in Iraq. We counterattacked last week. It didn't even it made my news. 2 soldiers died and a Brit. You want to talk about coronavirus being bad? How about getting a visit at the door from a couple dudes in uniform telling you your son's dead? Black swan. Iran ramps up attacks and Trump's got to respond. Market will not dig that. Another black swan. Anybody know what crude's at? What was that? $28 earlier. That is horrible. Crude for a second week in a row being in a bear market. Third black swan, freaking shit sandwich of COVID. This is number 4 black swan. I made this, I love the fact that Goldman Sachs is a member here at Top Gun Options. I said this last week, or actually a week and a half ago. I looked at it. I actually watched my replays to try and get better. Goldman cuts the GDP forecast to -5%. I've never seen that in my life. That might have happened in my life. I was probably running around pooping my pants. Says the recession has begun. I said this a week and a half ago. Again, we beat everybody else. I said right now, folks, we are in a recession. It's called a shock recession. So, I can't even, -5%. What am I getting at? This is the 4th black swan. If the market really starts to believe we're in it, market believes we're in it, and they start thinking Trump's going to lose, it is look out below. Dementia Biden or social Bernie? Are you shitting me? Yeah. When I see these messages on here start tilting a little bit, like, dude, I'm worried about Trump, man. He already looks awful in this crisis. The only thing that he's done well that he says every press conference is the damn China ban. He did it early. Freaking, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Every other press conference has been a cheerleading, everything's fantastic. And it's been a lie. The people that call him a liar anyway are on fire with this stuff. I've really never called the guy a liar. I'm on fire with it now. Market's really rolling over hard right now. Did we get our airline pop and it's done? Wow. That's a big sell order. We break the low of the day here and it's look out below. Yeah, well, we'll talk solo Amazon at 3:00, but yeah, I put those Amazon puts on. This is why you're here, man. I sent it. Yeah, we'll see. All right, but folks, if we, Alan, for those that are relatively new and have made lots of money, make sure you are not trading with all the money you have made. More times than I care to think about, I've made lots of money and then watched it disappear. Don't make the mistake. Take and put it in a sock. You got it, man. Awesome. Brian just closed Delta calls for $3,000. Nice job, bro. So this is a potential black swan event. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, what I've predicted since 2008 happened. This was the Fred Sanford moment. The Federal Reserve moved up their meeting from Tuesday, Wednesday. Did they not want to meet? No. Well, CDC says more than 50 people. So they met virtually yesterday. And if last week or 2 weeks ago with the 50 bips was a bazooka, this was a thermonuclear bomb. And the futures imploded. This looked panicked. They didn't have to do this, and they should have done it during market hours. In my opinion, the main reason they did it when they did was before the Asian markets opened. Remember at the height of the financial crisis? I traded through it. Was what? It was always Sundays, like, oh, we have to figure out what we're doing before the Asian markets open, or if they implode, then we implode. That was Trump last night, or Powell, trying to help out Asia. You know what Asia did, or Australia? Imploded. you will always remember the date and time that Fred Sanford literally died, and that was yesterday. The Fed jumped 0 interest rates, and the market, the futures imploded, and now we're down 2,200 points on the Dow. The Fed, Scotty in the engine room, is dead. On that call yesterday, I listened to the replay. He did what? He said, I'm paraphrasing, I can't get to mom and pop. I can't get to those people that need it most. This was stupid for the Fed to do. The bank CEOs sat at the White House last week and said, they looked at each other like, why are we here? They're like, we're capitalized. We're fine. We went through this shit before. We're good. We'll be standing by to lend, which is a lie. But anyway, I mean, a couple of them even said that to the president, like, sir, this isn't a financial crisis. This is a medical, this is a pandemic. The Fed is dead, baby, just like in Pulp Fiction. Whose motorcycle is this? It's not a motorcycle, baby. It's a chopper. Whose chopper is this? Zed. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. So the Fed is dead. Celia, yeah, I'm up over $8,000 today, which is kind of nuts. Good for you. Steve, up 165 grand today. Wow. So yeah, somebody asked if I'm holding that put. God, yeah, folks. I don't know. I rarely close out my put. Look at this. Now we're selling harder. With my luck, I close out that put. Trump gets up at 3:30 and just completely is more horrific than normal, and we slam into the close instead of like Friday. The market's smart, folks. They got lured into a short squeeze last time. Maybe this time they don't short and they just listen to the guy, and as he sucks, it pounds into the dirt. So of course I'm holding those puts. I would not, folks. Most of the puts that I have on right now, I would not touch. Ron got back 155 grand today. Yeah. So Scott, absolutely. The Moderna calls. Anybody see how Moderna's doing today? You're welcome. 23% gain in Moderna. I would buy more of these calls with both hands, and I would buy more Gilead calls with both hands. I'm not being I'm not finishing my brief, and I'm breaking my rules. Ed, 2 weeks ago, my portfolio was $5,000. Now it's 41. Nice job, my friend. Goldman, hold on. This Scott Wapner guy, he's such a tool. The CNBC halftime lunch guy. More or less, they were all screaming like on Twitter. Hey, just close the market. I wish at Jack. So this journalist, financial journalist, says, I wish the CEO of Twitter had the power to limit Twitter in times like this to only critical news and information about the crisis. Things not relevant or just straight up nonsense should be immediately blocked, and I'll just leave it at that. Get off my lawn. What a jerk and a crank. The judge. Look at his whiny bitch ass tweets. These guys can't stand, these financial reporters can't stand when it doesn't compute and they don't know what to do. Give me the microphone, judge. Go throw your unitard on and go rollerblading down in Key West, listening to It's Raining Men. Traders question the value of stock market circuit breakers. They're stupid. They don't work, and they make markets not efficient. They suck, and they're stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, I will always remember this day in history. It was yesterday. Andrew Cuomo, the liberal piece of shit governor of New York who loves infanticide and killing children up to and after birth, called out the National Guard the other day. Here's his New York Times op-ed yesterday afternoon. Andrew Cuomo to President Trump mobilized the military to help fight coronavirus. This is the governor of New York in a letter to the president. You know what this is? I am a shitty governor of a bad state that's bankrupt. I'm going to hit the tennis ball across the net to you, Trump. Save us. That fat governor from Chicago, but the state of Illinois, Pritzker. That you know who the Pritzker family is? They loan money to God. He's a disgrace. New York's bankrupt. Chicago's bankrupt. So Pritzker's tweet yesterday was the same thing. Trump's an idiot, and he has to come in and save Illinois. They are calling states, Democratic states. Have you heard from Governor Abbott in Texas? Like, we need federal troops. Hey, Texans, everybody go in their bedroom and grab a gun. We don't need federal troops. Democrats in loser states, and California is probably next, asking for the United States military to come in? Didn't we fight a war about this? Do you want us to wear like red coats? Bunch of losers, man. I am furious about this. I suck. Now, I warned you weeks ago, folks. I said we might have federal troops. I predicted all this shit, man. I said we might have federal troops around the 5 boroughs on the bridges and New York City in a quarantine. 2 months ago, I told you, you are a fool if you do not think what is happening in Wuhan cannot happen in New York City. China is the second largest economy in the world, and they're like just dumb people. Couldn't happen in New York. I told you earlier in this brief, if the sanitation workers don't come to work, you will have a plague. And National Guardsmen, for now, will be walking the streets of New York. It will be medieval. Have you seen Italy? They're locked down. You can't leave the house unless it's one person to go to the store, and they're in the food line. It's one person that can go in the store at a time, and they're 6 feet apart waiting in line. What happened in China, Japan, Italy, South Korea, and Spain, who's locked down, could never happen in America. That's how stupid people are in this country. Did you hear Fauci the other day? You know what? If you're going to overreact about something, it should be this. I said that same damn sentence 2 months ago. I'm like, I'm pretty sure with a potential pandemic, I'd like to overreact than underreact. And all the jackwads on my Facebook and Instagrams who've criticized me for 2 months have all disappeared. And actually, a couple of them have become members because they're broke. It's comical. Anyway, let's go. Yeah. So, and Tava, one of our afterburner trading guys, he's like, construction has stopped in New York City. They were told not to come to work, and we're done. We're done. We ain't building anything. It's more than 50 dudes on a construction site. They can't. So what about all the day laborers, folks? Where's the bailout, Secretary Mnuchin? Mr. President, you're in construction. You build all these big hotels. 10,000 people in this construction company. They're out of business today. They're not getting a paycheck. What are you doing for them? I'm bailing out the airlines. I'm bailing out rich airline pilots. I'm pretending I'm Bernie Sanders, but hey, man, I've been there. I've been an airline pilot who, dear crew member, you're furloughed. Holy shit, Susie. Changed the arc of my life. So here we go. Scott, I couldn't agree more, man. Does anybody know the whole posse comitatus? They can be, employed in non-legal roles. So I think Como's main point was, hey, man, park the U.S. Naval Hospital ship Mercy and what's the other one, Comfort, off each coast. Mobilize the MASH 4077s and stuff like that. I told my afterburner trading group on the cell I beat the news. I said the governor of New York is calling out the National Guard, and he's telling guard armories to empty and put hospital beds in them. Asa, nice job, man. Asa up 44.5 today, $44,500. Wow, that's great, man. Yeah, last week he was talking about, I'm keeping schools open. Who's going to take care for the kids? It's bad and everything. Yesterday at the Boca Resort, of course, because half of the people there right now are from New York City. They're like, Harry, he's closing the schools. We got to get to the airport. So, hey, Mike, for the record, I'm glad you got furloughed. It's working out for us. Me too. I was never meant to be an airline guy. God works in mysterious ways. I could not sit in the front of a pressurized tube of aluminum with recirculated air currently for the rest of my life. Here we go. Let's review our current positions. This is the primary live trade brief model portfolio. How you doing? Well, how's it doing? Holy crap. Year to date, it's up $382,000. We literally have made millionaires out of people who have pounded Brazil into the dirt. So let's talk about that one first. Brazil, it has hit home with me. I posted this on Top Gun Options Facebook page. Wow, that's horrific. The Facebook page the other day, my best friend, who I get a lot of intel from, last Saturday night, Bolsonaro, his infected press secretary, Pence, Trump birthday party at Mar-a-Lago, dancing, making out, kissy, Brazilians and U.S. people, and infections. The New York Times story headline is how a presidential party in Mar-a-Lago turned into a COVID hot zone. Holy crap. My friend is still waiting to get, not her, well, they're both waiting to get tested. The one that went to the party, who made out with the press secretary since they went to grade school together and they dated, and my friend who hung out with her at Starbucks the other day. And I have not, she's like, Susie's like, should we call him, invite him over for dinner? I'm like, what are you, nuts? So why am I rambling about this? If Donald J. Trump announces a bailout package for the airlines and the cruise ship industry, how does that help Bolsonaro in Brazil? It doesn't. Keep pounding EWZ into the dirt. I am having fun, Pam. As a matter of fact, if we quote close for 2 weeks, it's going to not help. It's going to, I was going to say help impact Brazil, but that sounds stupid. It's going to impact Brazil. Got a ton of people here in South and Brazilians in South Florida, very good friends of mine. What would I do? Well, let's take a look at what we currently have. Oh, for the love of God and all things. I told you, man. $197,000, $91,000 in these puts. Yes, I would add to these Brazilian puts. Where would you add them? You know what's crazy? Let's look at the 6-month chart. Okay, that's fun, Wiz. Nothing. How about a 1-year chart? Okay, where's the support? 2-year chart. Oh my God, Wiz. Exactly. What's that? 17? Wow. Look at that chart. There's where I've made millionaires, folks. And when I open my charity to help fight veterans suicide, I better see some tithing going on. I think it goes down the 20. When do I think it would be time to pull it out of the Brazil puts? Not anytime soon. Listen to me, folks. Use my rule of thumb here. 2 months. It's taken China, if we believe China, they did this. It was horrific. They burned bodies and hundreds of thousands of people died. It leveled off, and now they're like this. Japan, South Korea, kind of not okay. People are still, it's awful. We're Italy, folks. The best analogy I've heard is we're 2 weeks behind Italy. It hasn't started in any country in earnest yet. United States, Brazil, Canada, Mexico. Did you see the funniest shit in the world yesterday? The president of Mexico wants to shut the border with the U.S. to prevent, or wants to build a border to prevent the spread of coronavirus. So that magnificent bastard, Donald Trump, finally got the Mexicans to pay for the border wall. Brilliant move. So, oh, Mike, I didn't hear that. Wow. Mike, Canada's closing borders to non-citizens. John, what happens to open positions that will expire during a market shutdown? John, you showed up late. I talked about that for 12 minutes. Watch the replay. I would go out about a month and do 20, the 20 strike. I'm using the 2-month rule, folks. This is Dr. Gottlieb. This is not Wiz. Oh, wow. Hold on. He's supposed to be under quarantine. What's the SPX doing? That's what he should have done a long time ago. We're not seeing too much of a reaction out of SPX. Hockey's canceled. No reason to have that border open anyway. Seth, Kudlow admitted 1 month best case, 3 months worst case. That's what they admit. I'm going with 2. So let's go out at least a month on Brazil and get some more puts on. I'm holding the current puts I had. You know what? Maybe I'm going to take some. I'm going to take some off the table here. I mean, this is insanity. These are April. This is nuts. EWZ, $194,000. I'm going to close. I'll put an order to close them for $210,000. You're welcome. Brazil's going lower. It's just. Do you think their healthcare system is ready to take? The damn press secretary had it. Bolsonaro, the news broke that he was positive. 10 minutes later, they're like, wait a minute, he's negative. They're lying. I'm trying to figure out if they really are through some friends, but they're worried about their health right now, so I'm not going to bug them like, oh, that's, yeah, I hope you get tested. Give me some tipper. Maybe the regular April expiration. Well, you know what? If this thing's going to accelerate, let's walk it in a little bit. I'm not going to go out a full month. We can keep doing tactical put buying on this thing when there's no buying. Tactical put buy, pull the chips off the table, sit here, put some new ones on. Let's go out to let's do the March 31st. 20 strike puts. 20's a round number, folks. That is definitely order. Yeah. I got Bloomberg, or no, CNBC up here. I got Bloomberg outside by the pool, and in my office I have Fox Business. So, all right. So I would be doing these, and for this portfolio, I am doubling up all of my order positions. What's that? 50? Yep, right around 55. I like being right around 65, 75. Yep, that's around 10 grand. Remember, folks, in normal market trading, folks, the SOP is not. I don't want to risk more than 5 grand, or 5% of my model portfolio on any one trade. In this market, I am increasing. Whenever you hear me say I'm going to pound something into the dirt, that's slang for I double my contract size. I cannot tell you how many contracts to trade. That's between you, your registered investment advisor, and your broker dealer. I simply do not give investment advice. You're getting the eavesdrop on what I potentially am doing, and I'm showing you right now. Risking $10,500 to potentially make 140, but if we're making 140, Brazil got wiped out by a nuclear strike. Can the EWZ go to zero? Yeah. Will it? No. The EWZ is made up of 15, 20 Brazilian companies, big companies, and that ain't happening. Remember, with a debit, you're never going to get filled at the bid. That's me saying, the ask is some dude sitting here, I want $1.47 million for my house. Me saying I want 1.44. You're not going to get filled. We meet in the middle. There's a market. If you really want to get filled on these puts, you do it at the ask. I'm going to sit right there and crap. I got to close. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to close those. I'm going to close these puts for now $92,000. Wow, EWZ is really rolling over. Oh, oil. Remember, folks, if you haven't traded EWZ, what's the oh yeah, look at that. It's going to break the low of the day here, and it's look out below. What is EWZ huge on? Begins with an O and ends with an L, and it's called oil. It's called oil. And oil's under 20, it's $29. That's shocking to me. Oil staying down here like this, guys, no matter what Trump said, you guys know how anybody who says low oil is good for us. Oh, wait, I already have this order on. What am I doing? I'm mumbling here. I'll come in a little bit. I need to get, I'm not going there. Some bitch. This is where market makers become rich people, folks. Yeah, exactly. For the Marines, OIL. Petrobras is in there. Whatever. Yeah. I need to get out of these. I need to free up some capital. All right. So that's what I'm doing with EWZ. Let's go back over to here. I was stunned yesterday. Actually, I'm not stunned. I'm not shocked at anything right now, folks. Everything I'm hearing by the second, I'm like, well, that makes sense. Well, let me start with Apple. Apple's done. It's over with, folks. Finally, the Institute, I told you 250 was the next stop with Apple, and I was right. 200 is the next stop with Apple after this. Maybe I'll close these Apple puts and put new ones on. It's done with Apple for a couple months still. And then we're going to buy it with both hands. What would I do? Let me close these for, I'm going to get out of these too. Woohoo! I got out of my EWZ. Now I can get into those. How am I doing today? Up 150 grand today, $152,000 in this portfolio today. All right, let me go get those new EWZ puts. Folks, we're only supposed to go a half an hour in weekly options. I know these are interesting times. I've got to keep us on time schedules, man. EWZ, the 20s, and I want, what did I say, 75? 75, yeah. Why would I close and get right back in? Because I didn't have capital. I had to close the very, very profitable ones to get new ones. Capital limited. Positions. Apple. Tomorrow, folks, in the primary live trade brief at 10 a.m., I'm going to tell you the stuff. Well, you guys already know my buy indicators. I've given you my 4. I'm going to buy everything with both hands. You know, I'm probably going to hold on to these. Let me. Chrissy, I feel like I'm way over my head. Chrissy, that's because you haven't watched your full throttle training videos. If you get in here and you watch the full throttle training videos from session 1, this is what we do here. This is how we trade. This is a market. These are calls and puts. We take a building block approach. If you just jumped in here, you probably feel like you're drinking from a fire hose and I scraped you off into the wall at the Daytona 500. Okay. Greg, all that's covered in full throttle training. It is all covered in the trade plan here. Guys, I could tell all of the new people in this room are not doing, first of all, haven't watched what I've told you to watch, and second of all, are not trading with a trade plan. You're going to get killed. Get in here and watch these full throttle videos, folks. I'm telling you, guys that have, and ladies that have been here for years are like, Wiz, every time you do the full throttle training, I learn something new. If you haven't watched these videos, you are doing a massive disservice to yourself. I'm going to stay in Apple. I'm going to hang in these puts. What new ones would I look at? Somebody just asked. First of all, I got to do my trade plan. Could not be more bearish. Shutting down the federal government sounds fantastic to me during normal times. But during times like this, it's to stop a pandemic. You do not understand, if you've not been listening to me, that we haven't even seen that. This is how these things work. The CDC worst case, there's a best case, but let me try and scare the shit out of you, because plan for the worst, and when it doesn't happen, smile and go, wow, I feel much better. Plan for the best, get coronavirus and die, and you're going to feel like shit. Plan for the worst. The CDC says 1.7 million people in this country will die. God freaking forbid. You can't even go to old people's homes, man. I'm old people. They're closed. You can't go visit family. Your grandfather's in the Boca. Susie's got her aunt. You can't visit. They are walling the elderly off from people. Do you know what's happening in Italy? Yeah, you're too old for that ventilator. This guy's a little younger, so you get it. And you go out in the tent in the parking lot. Tip for young lady in over her head. Go to the ready room and ask as many questions as your heart desires. Good mutual support, Buzz. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys. The ready room, folks. I gotta go. I gotta finish up real quick. It's way too long in here, guys. You want to live stream with me? You got to be an afterburner. We are half an hour over here. There's the ready room, guys. Get in here if you're confused about anything and ask. This is fantastic, all this stuff in here. This is where you need to go. If you didn't know about the Ready Room, you didn't watch the Getting Started video. You owe me a bunch of push-ups. Apple, why is my chart not coming up? I mean, I think it's, God, that EWZ chart is brutal looking, but I love it. We have, yeah, I mean, people, I couldn't even tell you guys. I mean, when you look at Apple here, it's just, there's no bottom underneath it. I'd keep them closer too. Stocks like, is there anything in the 200 puts buying? And still, this is essentially, we got 2.5, 3 weeks. If we're going to shut down for the next 2.5, 3 weeks, things are going to get bad. Okay, so I would look at these. Okay. Rumor, I have a friend has a friend in the CIA. Everyone in the U.S. 2 weeks quarantine. Oh shit! Do not read it out loud. I'm not going to say your name. I didn't see that part till the end. I expect you to be a little bit more fired up for solo Amazon. Yeah, exactly. I do these. I do the Apple 240 puts. Let me review the existing positions for current members who are in here. EWJ, folks, the fact that Prime Minister Abe came out the other day and said it is physically impossible. We are never canceling these games. And I think like under his breath, he did the whole, unless things really get nuts. I am going to, here is a closing trade. I'm going to close these and I'll throw a nice little 64 grand profit on these. I'm going to close these. Why? I still think he's going to close them, but I want to take that capital off the table and go put this firepower into something else. What? I don't know. What's going on at the New York Stock Exchange? Oh my God, look at that. Yeah, they're like, you can't even get in. They're doing all this testing. I would take profits on EWJ, folks, so we can deploy that capital somewhere else. Does that make sense? Closing EWJ. JetBlue. These are out to April. I did these on purpose. If you're not in these yet, I'd get into these. So if you're a new guy or gal, I like these JetBlue puts. Why? Because today, when Trump says we're going to help the airlines, people are going to go, yay! And oh my God, they're going to help the airlines. JetBlue, Delta, American. I was at FedEx. I worked for American for 9/11, and then I got hired by JetBlue. But I'm like, okay, 3 airlines in 3 years. I'm going to Wall Street. Why draw banks? That's where the money is. So I'm hanging in those JetBlue puts because when, not if, the president says, and by the way, no air traffic controllers are going to go into work, so the airspace system is shut down for 2 weeks. He's bad. He's awful when he's reading bad news. JetBlue, if we ground, I predicted this last week. I said there will be domestic travel restrictions. That was from I put this out yesterday on the Afterburner thread. I said, buddy at the FAA, we're shutting down. There will be no air travel. I think he's going to say, I don't know if it'll be, how can you order air traffic controllers to go to Miami Air Traffic Control Center if there's 50 people in that room? You're endangering their lives. I'd shut air travel down. I'm hearing that Amtrak's going to shut down. Moderna, the huge rebound in these calls, man. Fantastic. The answer is yes. Get in Moderna calls. mRNA. Moderna. In another portfolio, we have Gilead. But this portfolio is this. I am also going to close these. Closing announcement. Mountain. Susie called out there Friday? No. She said she has to call today. My sister Kia from Dune Capital, she sent me a picture. They were by themselves. I'm like, oh my God, nice job chartering an airplane. She's like, we didn't charter. There's nobody on this plane. They're sitting there with masks and gloves on. I'm like, you still flew out to Aspen? She's like, yeah. An hour later, Aspen Mountain on Instagram and in my email, we're closed for the season. All the ski areas are closed. We are booking massive profits in those mountain puts. Why am I getting out of them? The ski season is almost over, guys. I think the downside is done with mountain. However, they do. The guy who we bought our place for, we were renting our place from, is like, please come out and for mountain biking. Yeah, I'm a skier. So, is there a bottom in mountain? I don't know, but they're already closed. I think the damage is done. I'm going to get in. Okay, exactly, Greg. Every mountain is closed around the. Yeah. Well, yeah, Mike, civilian traffic, all air traffic. Yeah, the EWZ is already making money. It's going down here. Carmen, I'll address that at the end here. But yeah, if you wanted to stay in mountain, there might be more downside, but it looks like we might have found a bottom in some of the stuff where it's going to be a sideways L, folks. Implosion, sideways, and then recovery. That's what I think is going to happen in most of it, in just about everything. Implosion, this, and then rebound. It ain't going to be a U. And it ain't going to be a V. It's going to be a sideways L. Does that make sense? All right, Carmen, I trade in my personal account, but it is against the law for me to send out trade for me to place a trade and then blast it out to my customers, which is just about what every one of my quote competitors do who don't last long. They front run, which is illegal. They get into a trade and load it up and then send it out to all their members. And then guess what happens to that trade? It goes up or down and they make money. So I manage 5 portfolios at Top Gun Options: Solo Amazon, weekly, primary, AR, and the weekly debrief. And then now this thing is attached to my head for all the afterburner traders. You know whose portfolio gets looked at last in the day and sometimes not at all? Mine. That's why I'm done hearing people bitch about price or anything like that. My family is actually suffering a little bit because I'm helping you. You cannot, ladies and gentlemen, in a training environment, trade with real capital in front of people. That is giving investment advice. It is against the law if you're not a registered investment advisor. I'm not giving you investment advice. You're eavesdropping on what I'm doing. That's why when somebody in the chat box goes, what should I do with this trade, or what should I do? And I go, I have no idea what you should do because that is none of my business. Does that make sense? All right. Take a look at Trump's most recent tweet if you have a second. Yeah, I'll go over there. Wow, Jeffrey, I'm personally up 200 grand, and overall I'm up nearly 800 grand today for all the accounts margin. I almost don't want to go over to the president's Twitter account because the man's really pissing me off. I'm grabbing that one, Jeffrey. What a great. I feel fantastic helping you guys out, but I love when people are like, folks, you cannot. I ran the Options News Network, ladies and gentlemen. And my sister company was a brokerage. It was the brokerage options house. I lived in the compliance officer's office. She's like, you have to have a paper trading account. You can't say this. I know exactly what I have to do legally to be great. And we have never heard from Uncle Sammy. All these other shitbags out here are either out of business or they got problems with Uncle Sammy. I love this. Just had a very good teleconference with the nation's governors. Went very well. Como of New York has to do more. Como of New York, Mr. President, you got to bring federal troops into this country. Wow. Holy crap. Uh-oh. Moderna closed due to volatility. Oh, boy. That's a good thing, guys. Are they going to make we have a vaccine announcement? No shit. But we're off 2,300 on the DAL. You would think if we have potential, the V word coming out. Yeah. All right, I got to go, guys. I got to talk to my afterburner folks and get ready for solo Amazon. I'm going to close these mountain ones. Yeah, they did this the other time. Maybe it's going back down. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's halted for maybe bad news. I don't care. I'm staying in those April calls, folks. If Moderna goes down here, load the boat. There's only a handful of companies, folks, that are really working hard on this vaccine stuff. So I don't care about Moderna going down. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go. I'll get the replay posted. I think the trades, I already posted a bunch of the trades on the member page. It's already on here. I'll get the replay posted later in a couple hours. It's not a priority right now, especially if you are in here. Disney, what's the question with Disney? Disney what? If Disney's over in the primary, folks, if you don't see the position in here, I'm not talking about it. We have way limited time, and there's like 5,000 people in here. Would I hold or sell it? I'd sell the shit out of it, folks. Disney's closed. What was it, last night at midnight? They're in a lot of trouble, folks. Disney, I'm bearish on it. We'll talk Disney tomorrow in the primary live trade brief. I got to go. Thank God I closed this, man. There's way too many people in here. We're closed. The only thing you can do is solo Amazon annual, and that's it. This is getting insane. Yeah. It's and no monthlies. There are absolutely no monthlies in the solo Amazon. No tire kickers. I'm sick of tire kickers, man. You're clogging up my chat box. $38 for a trial. It's insane. Gong, exactly. Yep, MGM's closing. Win's closing. We'll talk about all those tomorrow. But yeah, solo Amazon's right there, guys. Go.topgunoptions.com/solo annual. Solo annual. If you want to meet me in 48 minutes over in the Amazon room. Okay. All right. I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. God bless. And I'll see many of you in solo in a little bit or tomorrow for the primary live trade brief. We'll see you guys.